Hey guys, welcome back to my page and my channel. So this video is in response to a post that I shared on Facebook. I think I shared the post maybe a few days ago, but a conversation got started on my Facebook page on that particular post that I shared. And I don't know, the conversation had me kind of rolling a little bit, you guys. Um, I just actually got done with my practicum for today. You girl been seeing clients all day and I'm a little bit tired, but I'm gonna go ahead and do this video because I feel like the conversation is a very interesting discussion that we were having on my Facebook page in response to a post that I shared. Now the post was a photo, right? And the photo basically depicted interracial couples where we had I think it was like maybe 8 couples within the picture, and it were interracial couples with a black woman and a white man, right? And one of those couples were of the royal family. You guys who just probably saw the wedding, you guys know who I'm talking about, of the royal wedding. And I find it to be, I'm still laughing, y'all, because I find it to be quite interesting, like people's perspectives on this topic. And if you guys kind of weak or you kind of sensitive or you get offended easily, this video really isn't for you. But I really wanted to have a mature conversation, a mature discussion with people who can handle this kind of conversation. So feel free to chime in. But this topic is about why black women marry white men. So I want you guys to chime in. Now, of course, I have my own perspective on this topic. You guys know I'm really passionate about the black community, about black identity, just race relations altogether. So anytime I see a post on Facebook related to, interracial dating, interracial marriage, like I have to put my 2 cents in. And so the photo I just was telling you guys about, I shared my perspective on it. And when I shared it, you guys can go back and look at the post on my page. But I pretty much said that black men be slipping. And I really do stand by that. I said it kind of like as a joke, but there's truth. There's a lot of truth in humor. And I really do stand by that statement that, not say all black men, but a lot of black men be slipping. I want y'all to chime in on this topic. Just feel free to share your perspective. Now the conversation on my post kind of got a little bit out of hand, because I know people getting their feelings and stuff. So I would welcome you guys to be able to have a mature conversation without attacking each other, without attacking me. I always get attacked when I share my perspective on this topic because my views are kind of controversial. They're a little bit different. And I said that black men are slipping because look, you see a lot of black women marrying outside of their race. They're being snatched up by men who are not black outside of the race. And these men are taking care of these black women. And I'm looking at it like this. If black men were doing their job and we had more black men who were more accessible to black women, good black men who were more accessible, I don't think we would see as many interracial couples, especially with black women marrying white women. Now, black women marrying, I said black women marrying white women, black women marrying black men. Now, I guess it can go either way, right? So, yes, you can make the claim that black men marry outside of their race for the same reasons, but this video is specifically targeted towards why black women marry white men. Feel free to comment below, share your perspective on this topic. I see it this way, especially being a successful black woman in America, considering that we only make up 12% of the population. I'm well educated. I am actually approaching my 3rd year of a PhD program, so not too long that I have left before I'll be a doctor, a psychologist. And I tell people all the time that I live out here in Hollywood, California. Mostly white people. I mean, it is mixed. You have some blacks out here, but it's mostly white. Mostly Latino. That's LA period. Across LA, you have mostly Hispanic people out here. It's like over 50% Hispanic. So it's like, what do you expect? And then we look at America and look at the racial proportions in America. I mean, we only make up 12% of the U.S. population. It's not like we are in Africa, you guys. So when you see people date outside their race, it's like, stop attacking them, assuming that, oh, they some traitors, they some haters, they self-hating, they don't like. It's like, no, we have to take into account the bigger picture to see what's going on here. And stop being so quick to attack people because they decide to date outside their race. And that decision could be based on a number of factors. Like you guys go back and watch my posts, look at my posts and look at some of those comments. One of my colleagues actually came to my defense, and I like what she said to say, and I say this all the time, to say that basically women, we make these choices. Women who decide to date outside their race, we make these choices based on our options. So like I said, if I'm out here in LA or in Hollywood and I'm surrounded by mostly white people, and the options here, I say this all the time, but when we look at black men specifically in LA, a lot of black men are either former gang members or thugs, so to speak. They have children, baby mamas. They are homosexual. It's a lot of metrosexuals out here, so they like to get their hair and nails done. They kind of more feminine, and you guys also have to take into context that my perspective is coming from a different place, considering that I have a special interest, like I'm not your average black woman. I have a special interest when it comes to dating, love, and relationships. A certain kind of guy that I'm attracted to. I like alpha men. I like dominant men. A lot of men in LA, black men specifically, are not the dominant type. They are very feminine. Like, y'all know this is whole wave going on with metrosexual. A lot of men wearing pink. Nothing wrong with the color pink, but I'm just saying. Chris says, exactly, I love my black woman and plan on getting married. And so a lot of just black men, just not my type. There's a lot of black men out there, and I want to address a comment that was made by a guy, who commented on the post. He was a black guy, and he was like, oh, like, I find it really interesting, like, people's perspectives, because he just automatically jumped to conclusion and assumed that me and my colleague, we from the hood, he was like, you got to get out the hood and get around more successful black people. And I'm like, interesting that he would say that, because I don't live in the hood. She don't live in the hood. We live in white neighborhoods, in LA. We both are well-educated black women. So for him to say that, and then not only that, but he went to go to say, oh, you, if you were God-fearing, you just become God-fearing and believe in God and believe what God says, then he will send you a husband. I'm like, get that religion shit out of my face. God ain't got nothing to do, or religion or believing in Jesus Christ ain't got nothing to do with that, And granted, she actually is not single. She has a boyfriend. Me, you guys probably may or may not know, but I actually, was in a 3-year relationship with a guy who I met in New York. He's from New York. And that relationship ended last October. So I definitely speak from a totally different perspective. And she began to, express her perspective on it. And it's like, I felt he was attacking her. He brought up the whole notion of angry black woman, calling her angry black woman because she's voicing her perspective on it. And it's just like, that is a stereotype. Why do black women get that label, angry? Like, we can't even have an opinion, number one. And not only that, but even if we come off as a little bit upset, or disgruntled, all of a sudden we get this whole entire label of an angry black person. It's like, get the fuck out of here. There's no such thing as an angry white person, an angry white woman, a bitter white woman. We don't see that. And white women have the freedom to be able to articulate themselves and express, their disappointment or disdain for something, relating to their experience in life. And they don't get that label. But the moment a black woman begins to articulate herself and express herself, all of a sudden she gets this freaking life sentence, of being a black woman. It's like a terrible label. It's like being labeled as a felon. Once you get that label, that's yours for life. It's like, stop labeling black people, especially black women, for expressing themselves. You might be able to learn something if you sit there and listen to what a black woman has to say. We all come in many different shades, many different types of black people out there that exist. So stop attacking black people, specifically black women, for expressing ourselves, and I agree with her, because she was basically saying that, with the options that we have, which is very limited, I feel like, and she even went on to say, why is it that, as a successful black woman, who's educated, who has a bright future for herself, why are we so limited to only a select few men, black men, eligible black men? I mean, let's just keep it real. It's like, I have my perspective on that too, because like I said, a lot of black men already got baby mamas. And my perspective is this: I ain't about to get caught up with some man, no black, man really. But, we're talking about our own race. I'm not about to sit up here and be caught up with no man who got baby mamas, and then just trying to keep having babies. That's not my interest, so I'm definitely a totally different black woman. I'm 34 years old. I'll be 35 this year in September. And I am very particular about who I choose to fall in love with, to commit to, and to let impregnate me. Like, I don't believe in just letting a guy, just because, oh, he's black, impregnate. Like, hell no. I don't see how women get caught up in that situation where they become baby mamas. It's not to say that I'm immune, but I feel like I do take necessary steps to prevent something like that from happening. And we have to look at just being more educated. You have to look at the bigger picture to be able to look at the practicality of things. So, it costs money to raise a child, to have a family. And again, this is not to say all black men, because the moment a person throws out a statement such as this I'm about to throw out, people are quick to say, oh, that's not all black men. Some of us, we're not talking about all black men, but there is a significant number of black men, enough to explain why there are so many single black mothers out there raising kids by themselves. And I always said to myself, I don't want to be that single black mother. That's like a death sentence. That is like my biggest nightmare, to become the single black mom having to raise a child by themselves. And that situation happens for a number of reasons. It's not so much, oh, he's a deadbeat dad, but we're talking about economics and finances. If a man just does not have the wherewithal to provide financially for a child, it's like, what do you expect? He's going to run away from that responsibility. He's going to blame the woman. Even in the previous video that I made, I was talking about dating white man versus black man. What's the big difference? And I voiced my concerns and my opinions on that topic. And there was a black man that had a nerve to come on my post and say, oh, black women expect black men to just bow down to them and worship them like they're gods. I'm like, what the hell what's wrong with that? What's wrong with a black man elevating a black woman and seeing her as a goddess? Seeing himself as a king, seeing her as a queen. It's that kind of line of thinking that turns black women away from black men. Because if you can't even respect me and appreciate me for who I am, why would I want to open up my womb to you? Why would I want to procreate with you? It just ain't going to happen. You have a lot of white men, not to say all, but a lot do value black women. Even someone commented on the same post that I was telling you guys about with the interracial couples, and someone say, no, white men always have this appreciation for melanin. They know what's good for them. That's the reason why they choose to date and marry black women. It's like, you have a point there. If a white man can see the value in a black woman and treat her as such, treat her as a queen that she is, treat her with much respect, why is it that black men have such a huge issue with that? Why is that so difficult for them to do that? It's almost as if it's a sin to value a black woman. Black men, and it's become a part of our culture, even with music, to look at black women as a bitch, treat her as a hoe. Black men think this is an thing now to have a side bitch. It's like, who wants to be looked at as that? Who want to be treated as such, No, I want a black woman, educated black woman, wants a man who is serious, who understands the importance of family. And I'm trying to figure out, where the hell did we go wrong in the black community? Why is it that black men do not value family? I, as a black woman, yes, I may be a little bit biased being a woman speaking from that perspective, but I'm trying to figure out, what is it? What is it, you guys, that black men run away from the responsibility of having why don't they get it? I talk about this all the time, and you have a lot of black men comment and say, oh, it's not my responsibility to take care of a woman financially. I'm like, are you serious? It's not your responsibility to take care of a woman. It was like, oh no, my responsibility is to the child. It's not to the woman. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, to me, that makes absolutely no sense. How the hell can you lay with a woman, create a life, a miracle, and then go to say, I only care about this baby that came from that relationship. I don't care about the woman who helped me produce that baby. I'm like, what kind of line of thinking is that? There is cultural differences when it comes to perspectives on marriage. Not to say all black men or all white men are like this or like that, but speaking in general terms, that's what you see. You see a lot of people, not just white either, but men that are not African American, who have not been tainted, by this destruction, the psychological destruction that a lot of black men are under with disrespecting a black woman. And the same thing with black women disrespecting black men. They're not tainted by that. They can look at another individual, fall in love with that person, and appreciate that person for who they are without looking at that person and having hatred, basically self-hate, towards that person. And then have this chaotic situation where you're going back and forth, attacking each other. And then it's just like, come on, what are we doing? It's supposed to be about love and about family. If we can only put those things up here and say, no matter what, we are going to value family, understand the importance of family, that you don't lay with the woman. If you get her pregnant, then that is your family. She is part of your family. Why aren't black men moved when they drop that seed in a woman and then they find out that she's pregnant? Why aren't more black men moved to say, all right, I want to take you as my wife? You are going to be my wife because you are carrying my child. That's the issue I have with a lot of black men, because they don't get that concept. They look at it like this: oh, I ain't got to marry. I ain't got to commit to that. I wasn't ready. She knew I wasn't ready. She tried to trap me. I'm like, whoo, I don't get it. I don't understand. That's not how I was raised, and I speak from a perspective of a woman who was raised in a two-parent household with a mother and a father. My father was in my life, so I'm not speaking from a perspective of a woman who don't have a father, figure in her life. Like, I've had a father figure in my life, raised in a two-parent household, was not born out of wedlock. My parents were married. My dad was 42 when he had me, and my mom was 30 years old. They were 12 years apart, and my mom actually still carries my dad's last name, although they are separated. They got separated later on, but I just don't get it. Like, I still try to figure out that kind of line of thinking. You guys who are watching, please help me understand. Men, you're watching this. Share your perspective on this. But why is it that men don't see a need to take a woman's hand in marriage? You pregnant a woman. It's like that. You would want to look at that. That's your wife. That should be your wife. She's carrying your child. Why is it that black men don't want to commit and step up to the plate and be a husband and a father? They don't even want to be fathers. They sit up here and run away from their responsibilities. And then you got black men who have a nerve to attack black women as me, to say, oh no, you wrong for considering dating outside your race. You shouldn't even do that. That's wrong. It's like bullshit. It's about survival, and it's about choosing the best fit at the end of the day. You know, whether that person is Latino, whether that person is Asian, white, it doesn't matter. If that person is going to stick by your side and commit to you and build a family, that's what's important. You guys don't understand the importance of family. That's my biggest issue. Not to say you don't have black men who are marrying within their race. You know, we need to see more of that, I feel like. But there's this thing within our culture where it's like it's almost looked down upon. It's looked down as if, oh, a black man is being trapped, you know? Like if he gets married, you know, it's like, oh, he's settling down. He's on lockdown. Like it has a negative connotation to it. I don't like that. You know, we need to reframe and redefine what it means to be married and understand the importance of building a family. That is so important. And I can respect any culture who values marriage, you know. And when I say that I'm open to dating outside my race, it's simply because I'm opening up my options. You know, I don't hate white people. People say, oh, you a switch out, you a traitor. I tell those people, whatever, man, because we are all integrated into this society. We are all mixed. You know, black people want to think I'm so black power. I'm all about this, but you shopping at a white-owned store. Every product that your ass own was made by a white company. So let's not go there with saying, oh, we need to stay black. We need to stay within black. That's bullshit. We live in an integrated society. This is America, you guys, where there are millions of people, multiple different ethnicities and cultures. And black people, we only make up 12%. So to say, oh, a black woman should only date her kind, she should only marry her kind, I'm like, why limit myself? And especially when I'm exposed to a lot of gay men out here in Hollywood. Dude, it's a lot. It's so many freaking gay black men out here. That's the thing. I don't have anything against gay people. Make that clear, okay? People choose who they want to be with. But you guys have to understand something. You know, there are a lot of gay men out here in Hollywood, and they happy, they doing their thing. That's like the end thing, you know, and not just Hollywood, but in LA. So it's like, what do you expect? Now, when it comes to preferences, yes, I love a black man. There's nothing like dating someone within your own race, you know, nothing I think better than doing that, because it's like they share this commonality. They share this culture with you. A lot of black people, it's like you don't, when it comes to language and you're communicating, you know, you can say a few words and we automatically get it. Whereas a person from a different culture, you got to go into explaining what you mean. Like they don't really get that context of the meaning of what you're trying to say. So there are benefits to dating inside your race. And of course, if you just want to keep the whole genetic code strong, then yes, date with inside your race. But I'm thinking terms of my own life and long term, and you know, I'm not going to limit myself to just saying, okay, I'm just only going to date black men. You know, I keep my options open, and I'm very particular about what I look for in a man. That goes back to what I was saying earlier. It's like, as you know, I'm a different kind of black woman, so you guys, some of you guys probably know that I do have interest in BDSM. Some of y'all are like, what the hell is that? Well, it's a special type of lifestyle, alternative type of lifestyle, right? There's so many different caveats to it, so many different aspects to it, but I consider myself a submissive who likes dominant men. Now, being that our culture, and I think it's just American culture, it has nothing to do with, oh, it's LA. I think it's kind of, I mean, you do see, I think, more dominant men in other parts of our country, like New York per se. But overall, I think that's just more of the American culture, where we are kind of leaning towards, like, we kind of embrace this whole gender fluidity, where, you know, we don't attack people for black, you know, men for wearing a pink shirt, you know, or getting their nails polished, you know, or acting more feminine, so to speak. You know, it's like everybody is encouraged to be who they are, you know, which I think is a great thing. But it impacts people like me who actually are kind of old school and who prefer the more traditional gender roles, and when it comes to relationships. So I like dominant men who know how to take the lead, who are not just dominant in the bed, because like I feel like anybody can have a dick and lay that shit down, that's easy. But a man who knows how to take control economically, doesn't run away from responsibilities because he has the wherewithal to take care of a family. Not to say all black men don't have the wherewithal, or are financially strapped, but there are a lot of white men, who it's a reason why. It's a reason, trust me, it's a reason why black women marry outside of their race, and a lot of times it's because of financial reasons. Even the research supports that black women who date and marry interracially, they marry up. That's smart. Who the fuck gonna marry down? Meaning you marry someone who makes less than you, or marry someone who is on a lower status than you in terms of socioeconomic status. No, it makes more sense to marry up, because if you're smart, you're thinking long term. You think about what's in the best interest, not only for me, my personal interest as a woman, but what's in the best interest for my child, my children, that you're going to possibly have with this man. You want to make sure that you are set. When you look around, not to say you don't see divorces in white families and white marriages. Of course there are. But a lot of white people, they get married and they stay married. They do. They understand the importance of building a family. This is just facts, y'all. And what we see in the black community is a lot of people having kids out of wedlock. They don't even take the institution of marriage that seriously. And I think, yes, you can look at it from many perspectives. So a lot of black people are distrusting of the system. I get it. You feel like you don't want to get the white man involved, right? What's the point in having to go down to the court, get the white man involved? That's the whole legal stuff. You kind of want to keep the white man out of your affairs. And love is love. You don't need a piece of paper to validate that love. So I get it, y'all. I see it from many different perspectives. I like to stay open-minded on this, and I respect many different people's opinions on this. So, I feel like this is a mature intellectual discussion. We don't got to be in college to have intellectual discussion. Just because I'm in college don't mean that, I'm the only one that can have, I'm at this park. So y'all hear the background noise, just ignore it. But we all can have intellectual conversation on this topic without, I understand I might say some things that might trigger, emotions, but just keep y'all emotions in check. Don't be going off, because I'm not going to go off attacking you guys, calling you out your name or cursing or none of that, I'm just going to share with you my perspective, and I welcome you guys to do the same. So Oliver says, I don't think the problem with committing to a marriage or relationship is a racial issue. It's an issue that individual men from every race seem to have. I'm not against interracial relationships. Love is love whoever you may find it with, age, race, and people. Yeah, excuse me for reading. My eyes are like, it's in a day for me. Okay. Age appropriate, of course, no matter what race, and people shouldn't be condemned for choosing to date outside their race, whether it's true love. I think it is. It is a race thing, because you see, when you look at couples, and when it comes to marriage, yes, overall, yes, you got men that a lot of times they just want sex, right? They just want to fuck. I come across men like that all the time. So it's not that, I don't attract. Since I broke up on my ex, you guys, I can't tell you how many men have hit me up. I'm on dating website, a lot of dating websites, a few anyway. And, I've come across tons of men, lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of men, and it's like having all these men send me messages and stuff, white men, black, all kind of men, y'all, with all kind of offers and everything. I have to be careful, because I feel like I do have a lot to lose, and I'm not going to just make a hasty decision, but like, oh, well, I'm single, I'm, horny, I have my sexual needs, so I'm just going to go out there and just, meet up with somebody. Like, I said I was going to probably do a video and just show you guys, because when I say like hundreds, if not probably close to 1,000, like messages from guys on these dating websites, guys trying to hook up with me, I've even exchanged my phone number with some of these guys just to have to say, you know what, this ain't gonna work, because sometimes like I can be real picky and I get like easily annoyed sometimes. So the smallest thing can annoy me and I just be like, whatever, block. I just like whatever, get out my face. I don't know. So it gets kind of weird. Dating for me, I think, does get a little weird. I turn down a lot of men, y'all. I feel like that every woman, like if you're single, I feel like whether you're a man or a woman, like you gotta be selective, you know. So maybe that's my dilemma. You know, I could be maybe too selective, but I feel like I gotta be careful because number one, my last relationship lasted 3 years, it ended October 2017, and you know, I wouldn't say necessarily ended on a bad note per se, but it's a lot of things that I went through in that relationship, you know, I wouldn't wish on anybody. So I'm very careful about who I choose, you know, not even just to date, but to who I choose to invite into my inner circle. I got to be very careful with this stuff. I can't just be like, oh, he fine. Oh, he got, you know, he's a lawyer or he's a doctor or no, I have to be very careful in the kind of men that I choose to meet up with. You know, I might do a dating video so I can show you guys like my little dilemma, you know, and some of the things that I be dealing with talking to some of these men. You know, what I'm realizing, a lot of men kind of want to meet just right away. They like, oh, let's meet up, let's go for lunch. I'm like, I got a date tomorrow actually, you know, which I'm probably going to turn down because I'm like, I don't feel comfortable just going out meeting a guy that quick. Like we just literally met online last week and he already want to meet up tomorrow. I don't know. Y'all let me know if that's too soon, but I think that's a little bit too soon. That's like jumping the gun. That's too freaking fast. And so you'll have some guys that be like, oh, well, you expect to just send and exchange text messages and emails, you know, for months. I'm like, no, that's not necessarily what I want to do, but maybe I'm just super careful. Look at that cute dog. But I'm like, I have to be careful. I have always had saying, which was you can find sex anywhere, but it's harder to find true love. I think not true love, yeah, but more compatibility. I think it's not so much love for me because I mean, y'all, I have options, you know, so I want to make this like, oh, I think the guy that was on my post who commented on that post that I shared on my page about the interracial couples with the black women with the white men, like he assumed like, oh, can't find nobody or I don't know, like that. But it's like, y'all, it's not that. First of all, I'm a full-time PhD student and I work. So that takes up a lot of my time. So that's why I choose to date online. I feel it's much easier because you can just kind of put in certain little things you want, certain criteria. And it's like, it's already out there on the table, you know, who you are and kind of what things you look for in a person. And it just kind of makes it easier, I think, just with online because it just brings people together. You know, it's like social networking, you know, it's like a lot easier to kind of do that sometimes when you're online and you have all these profiles of people, you know, that you can talk to. And I get, like I said, I get lots and lots and lots and lots of messages. My biggest thing is weeding through those messages, weeding out the men, number one, who I'm not attracted to physically, because a lot of men that be sounding good, talking good, but don't really meet my physical standards of attraction or what kind of guy I'm interested in. Like I like taller men, so a lot of men who may be like 5'8". I'm 5'8". Let's see. What else I run into? It's like I run into different kinds of men. Men that just kind of want to move quick. Men that may mention something related to sex. I'm like, wait a minute, slow down. You're going too fast. That to me is a turnoff. If you mentioning sex and we haven't even talked about like basic stuff, you know, like my personal interests or, you know, what I'm going to school for, but you automatically just jump into talking about sex, that to me is a turnoff. So it's like a number of things. Y'all, I just looked at my block list on my phone, and it's sad because, you know, I'm pretty hopeful when it comes to dating, right? So, yes, I'll give a guy my phone number, but I feel like just as easy I get my phone number out, I can block it too. So I was looking at my block list on my phone, and I'm like, damn, I gave this many guys my phone number, and when I say that block list is strong, y'all, it had to be over 100 men on that block list. It's terrible, y'all. So looking at that yesterday, I'm like, you know what, I need to slow down and stop giving up my number to so many guys on these dating sites. And not only that, but I don't know, it can be tricky, you guys. Like you say, Finding love, I guess, can be difficult. I don't think being selective is a dilemma. If anything, it's crucial, especially these days when you got people sleeping around and spreading disease. Hell yeah, that's another thing. Who want to fuck around? You know, like I say, I come across some fine men, be want to invite me over to their place, got their own house, got their own crib, I mean, just living life, right? But that don't mean shit. Motherfucker can have anything. Herpes, gonorrhea, HIV. Who the hell want that? And then I'm not so quick to give my shit up. Fuck that. I need to make sure that this guy has a buy-in. I ain't just laying around. Yes, I have needs, you guys. You know, I'm a very mature person. I can talk about sex all damn day. You know? Let me finish reading your comment. Got a second thought of the person there. Yeah, you have to really know what kind of taste you like. What are your interests? I know there's a specific kind of guy that I like. And I talked this over with my therapist, my former therapist, and she kind of attacked me. She was like, oh, like as if it's a bad thing that I'm attracted to only alpha men or dominant men. I was like, that's just me. I could be friends with, you know, a regular guy, so to speak, who's not into the BDSM thing or whatever. We can be friends. We could be down. I can connect real easily with almost anybody, you know, because I'm just a people person. But when it comes to love and me falling in love and commit my time and thinking long term in terms of marriage and family, I'm like, that's just me. It's a certain kind of man, y'all. When I was on dating sites, I had some of the same issues when I was starting over. I had women that wanted to jump in bed the same day. I was like, bye, girl. Ew, jump in bed. Like, yeah. Why? What's up with people want to have sex so quick? Like, I understand you got needs, but guys, y'all ever heard of masturbation? You can pleasure yourself and still achieve the same thing. Now, I guess it's nothing like the real thing, right? That real physical connection that you have with somebody, but hell no, I don't take no chances. That's why I say, you know, even though my relationship ended October, your girl a virgin. I ain't messed with nobody since then. You get what I'm saying? Because I gotta be careful, man. I don't know. I feel like my body is a temple, and I am not about to sit here and lay down with any Tom, Dick. I don't give a fuck how fine he is. And I've came across in some very tempting situations now. But I say, hell no. I have to make sure that this guy is serious. A lot of people, they're trying to go with the quickest thing. They just want that nut. And that's them. That's how they get down. But nah, man. That ain't me. And I think having that type of limit, that standard when it comes to dating, that weeds out a lot of guys. You're right, because it's like the ones who are just trying to jump in bed with you, they don't have patience to actually have a real conversation. That's another thing. You gotta know how to freaking have a conversation with a woman. You know, you ain't gotta be the smartest thing out there, but know how to communicate. I don't use proper English all the time, but just know how to have a conversation. These men don't know what to talk about. They be asking some dumb random questions. Oh, what do you like to do? I'm like, what does it matter? What kind of things you like to do? Like, that to me is the most dumbest question you can ask a person. You know, it's other ways you can get to know a person besides asking like the obvious questions, you know? And I'm like, dude, don't ask me some shit that's on my profile. If it's on my profile, don't come asking me that. You know? So, back to the topic, though, about why black women choose to date, you know, outside of their race. I feel like it's just about preference. And a black woman knows what she wants, you know, especially one who comes to the table with something. She knows what she wants. She knows what she doesn't want. And realistically, you know, for me, there is a fear, you know, of being with a regular black dude and laying up with him, getting me pregnant. Like, dude, hell no. That ain't going down like that. Hell no. You know? So with me, yes, it's about marriage. It's about commitment, you know? And that's what it's about. It's about finding somebody who is on my same wavelength. And I'm not in a rush. I feel like, yes, I always say my biological clock is ticking, but I'm patient when it comes to that right person. And I don't mind just having like, you know, casual conversations just to get to know a person, just to see, okay, what it is, you know? I'm not so quick to, oh, let's meet up, you know, let's go out on a date, which I do have guys that be quick to do that with me. And I'm like, I get it, you know. I told you about the story. I was talking to the millionaire guy living freaking Hollywood Hills. Invited me over to his place. This was the night of the Oscars. And, you know, he gave me some wine. He had his liquor. And, you know, we had talked, you know, for a while on the phone before I actually went to his house, you know, so it's not like I didn't feel comfortable around him. But, you know, he was drinking. And I just like, he was like trying to reach in and give me a kiss, and I kissed him one time just to be nice, but then he was just doing that shit too much, you know, just trying to reach in and give me a kiss. And he wasn't black, matter of fact, he was white. And I was just like, just stop it, dude, you know. I didn't like the alcohol on his breath, and I didn't like the fact that he was trying to give me too many kisses. Just like, I'm like, no, you have to, for me, I get turned on by a guy when he can connect with me psychologically. A lot of guys don't understand that shit. Know how to connect psychologically. That means get up in my head. That means I don't mind a guy getting up in my head. As long as he ain't playing games, of course. But know how to talk to me and connect with me. Turn me on mentally. That is the challenge for a lot of men, because they don't know where to go. And they be sitting back looking for me to lead the conversation, because I don't know. They maybe assume because females should do the talking. I'm like, no, that's where a dominant man comes into play, because dominant men get it. They know how to take control over conversations. I ain't saying necessarily dominate and be aggressive over the conversation, but know how to lead a conversation. Know how to talk to a woman. You know how to show interest in her and express interest. And there was something else I want to say before I end this video. I have so much to say on this topic, you know, because it's not that I'm just trying to attack black men. I feel like if I been in a different region of this country, let's say New York, I know I'll probably already be booed up by now, because New York men move differently. I see how New York men move. I've learned New York men. They move. It's just different, y'all. People say, oh, location ain't got nothing to do with it, because the guy who commented on the post, he was like, oh, you know, it's ghetto men everywhere, it's black men everywhere. I was like, no, it's a difference between, trust and believe. There is a difference between the black men in LA and the black men in New York, baby. It's a not just black men, but men in general. I'm talking even Latino white men. They move differently. They are more assertive. They know how to go after what they want. These men out here and they be all prissy and passive and soft, and I just like, that ain't me, you know. And I lived in Atlanta for 3 years. Now I was living in Atlanta, I wasn't single. I was in a relationship for 5 years down there, so I wasn't thinking about that, you know. But now looking back in retrospect, it's a lot of gay black men in Atlanta. That shit is prevalent down there. Gay black men and women. You get what I'm saying? The shit is just different down there. Now, I say, had I been in Africa, I wouldn't even have this conversation with you guys, because it's mostly black people in Africa. So I wouldn't be having this conversation with you guys. But you guys, I always say, keep in mind the context. So when you hear a black woman say, oh, I'm interested in dating outside my race, or dating white men, think perhaps maybe it has something to do with her environment. It ain't always, oh, well, you around ghetto black men, so get away from ghetto black men. You can find a real good black man. Ain't got shit to do with that. I'm not around no ghetto black men. Ain't no ghetto black man around here. Y'all see my videos. I didn't take y'all around Hollywood, and you see what's out here. It's white people. That's because a lot of men are intimidated by a strong woman. Those are the... Speaking of that, because even my colleague talked about that on that same post that I shared on my page. You guys go back and look at that post. It's a picture basically of interracial couples, several interracial couples, black women with white men. And my comment that I shared on the post was that black men be slipping. So look for that post and look at the comments. But even my colleague said that that's a huge issue, where a lot of men are just intimidated by a woman who's intelligent. Like, don't be intimidated. I get it. I can see why they might be intimidated, you know. Hell, at times I felt my ex, he was intimidated by me. Because your girl is smart. I'm sharp with my tongue. I'm quick. And I feel like a lot of things that black women do, it get misinterpreted, even just like I said earlier, a black woman is very articulate. She may be having some distress surrounding a topic, right? Or maybe frustrated, and automatically she's seen as the angry black woman. So we can't have a range of emotions. Black women, we only can be happy. Right? That's just almost like black men. You can't have a range. Black men can't be angry. You only can have one emotion, and that's what makes white people feel comfortable, and that's happiness. It's like that's part of being human. It's okay to be angry, sad, frustrated, whatever you are. And it's not that black women are like this all the time, but when it comes to talking about certain issues and topics, yeah, certain things can make a black woman a little bit upset and frustrated, and she has every right to be. Like, come on, she has every right to be, and not to be attacked, and ridiculed because she feels a certain kind of way. He talked about the guy who commented, he was like, oh, we got to start embracing each other and respecting each other. But he the one calling the next black woman an angry black woman. It's like, just stop doing that. Instead of saying, oh, giving her this label, this permanent label about who she is, how about we get to know what's behind that frustration and anger to see, okay, what's going on, instead of just assigning some random label to her, arbitrarily. To me, that's not fair. But a white woman can go out there and bash up her motherfucking husband, car and shit, and lose her damn mind and be all hysterical and stuff. She not giving no label as angry white woman, so why the fuck do we have to wear that label? Like, just permanent fucking label that we have. I don't like that. There's a lot of hate within our own community towards each other. We can't just love each other. Black men, I really wish, and I say black men, I do put the responsibility on the black man when it comes to nurturing a family. Because I feel like if a black man just knew how to, y'all don't get this. I need to make a video on the whole thing about dominance. It's not just relegated to BDSM. Although people in BDSM, we got this shit down pat, but I feel like our culture has gotten so far away from the traditional roles. What should really be the norm, really? A man knowing how to take the lead in a relationship. I feel like black men have been disarmed in our country, where it's almost like it's illegal for a black man to be alpha. To know how to take the lead, to say this is my family when he impregnates a woman, and take ownership of that. Honestly, I don't have anything against polygamy. So I understand a lot of men say they have a rationale for why they have multiple baby mamas. They're like, oh, I got to spread my seed far and wide. I get that, right? To save the black community, to keep our race alive and well. I get that. But what about the commitment you have to her? You don't just drop something in a woman, a baby in her, and leave her to struggle by herself. No. And just because, it's another thing. I remember now. Just because a black woman can doesn't mean she wants to. Just because a black woman can get pregnant by any black man, bear his child and raise that child by herself and still walk around strong with a smile on her face, does not mean that she should or she wants to. Why? I don't get it. Why would a black man put that kind of responsibility on a black woman? I asked myself this, and then I saw a comment on one of my videos where a black man had the nerve to say, it wasn't on my post. This was actually a comment that I found in my messages on one of these dating sites. Black man had a nerve to say, well, I watched my mother, because we actually was talking to them about because I'm pretty upfront when it comes to stuff, my interests and who I am. So I was like, yeah, that to me is a standard of mine, that not that I can't provide financially and help support my man, in the household that we share if we were to live together, but I don't agree with this whole 50-50 thing. That's not me. And so he was like, I feel you, but actually my mom, this is what he said. He said, I come from a strong line of black women, and my mother, she was really strong. She took care of us. Even though my father was there, she still worked. She took care of us, so that's what I'm used to. I'm used to having a woman who works, because my mom, I saw her work, and she still took care. She did it. And I'm like, nah, baby. Just because your mom struggled as a single mother, because he was saying his mom was a single mother, and I'm like, so that's what it is. Black men are looking at their single mothers and saying, oh, she did it. So they're just replicating what has been done in history. That ain't mean that's the ideal. I feel like black people, man, we don't know. We've been fucked up. We've been hoodwinked, man. We've been swindled. We don't even know what is normal, how things should be. We so used to abnormality. We don't even see the burden that a man is placing on a woman with the expectation that, oh, I get her pregnant, she should still work, she should still provide 50-50. So now we have a woman who is bearing a child, carrying a child, delivering that child, is responsible for taking care of the household, cooking, cleaning, taking care of the baby, and bringing in 50% of the income towards the bills. Like, what the fuck? As me, I look at that situation, I'm like, what the fuck? If I had to be in that situation, I'm like, what the fuck do I need a man for? Please tell me that. Because I am not about to be sitting around here 9 months pregnant, or 6, I don't care how many months pregnant, carrying no dang on child, still being forced to have to go and slave and bring in this income, change all these diapers, cook, do all this. For how many jobs does a black woman have to have just to be accepted by a black man? I'm like, fuck that. Y'all don't get it. And my colleague, she made an interesting point, which I always say too. Me and her, we kind of see eye to eye on this, that how white men in a lot of relationships outside of a black family, they know how to do shit, man. You know, they understand, because it's about, you look at it like a team. It's about family. It's about team building. You know, so that means that, okay, if a man can bring in enough income to provide and take care of the family, then the woman at least could take some time off and be able to nurture those kids, raise those kids, you know, take care of the home. Not to say she can't work. We're not saying that a woman is bound to just be in a house, and no, we're not saying that. But if it should be a choice. If she wants to work, then she can. And of course, her income would definitely help support the household. But the situation, how things are nowadays, sorry about that, but the way things are nowadays, where you got black women, I'm talking about struggling, doing this shit by themselves. Hell nah. It's ways you can prevent that shit. I can tell you that right now. Probably because they're not invested in getting to know a person. It's just about sex to them, period. But even the black men who so-called love women, you have black women who, I think deep down inside, they do love the black woman. And they've impregnated her. But you still see that. They don't value family, man. Y'all don't understand that shit. And understand the institution of a family, yes, that's like any other institution. It costs money to maintain that. And you have, what kills me is that you got black men that be like, they see black women like me and voicing these kind of opinions and concerns, perspectives. They be like, oh, you a gold digger. And I'm like, that's where we at now? That's where we at now, where a black woman is just speaking about practicality of the situation. Hell, I'm not going to school working towards a PhD for nothing. Anybody know me? No, I got my own. I manage my own businesses. Of course, I have income to bring to the table. But at the same time, we don't need that kind of burden. A woman is already carrying a baby, and then she tasked with still having to be a single mother. I'm like, fuck that shit, man. I don't like that shit. I don't like that, man. Ain't no man can go and convince me that shit is the business and how things should be. Because I know the truth. And I know the possibilities that do exist. And my options that do exist. And I know that there are men who have the financial capability to provide for their family. They understand the importance of that, and being able to allow their wife, the mother of the child, to rest her body, that her body needs that rest, and not have to worry about the whole challenge of juggling stress with related to work and related to having to take care of a home and raise his child. I like the black man say, black women been doing this shit for years, so what's new, right? Black women been going to work, slaving, bringing in all this money, and then taking care of the whole family. You got black women to take care of men. That's the shit I'm talking about, man. Black women taking care of men, black men getting comfortable with that, thinking that shit cool. Black men expecting black women to contribute 50% towards the bills and take care of carry the baby, deliver that motherfucker, and cook and clean. And that's if I'm gonna do all that, I need to know that a man got my back, man. Like, we in this thing together. You got my back. I have to have some buy-in from the man. No, it's not about gold digging. Who the fuck gold digs nowadays? Like, that shit so old. Who the fuck? Women are making their own money. They don't need to go dig from no man. They don't need to go dig from no man. This is not gold digging. Y'all need to stop calling that shit gold digging. Y'all, men, I feel like instead of men acknowledging the issue at hand, go and read those comments on our posts. I point that shit out. I'll say he is doing everything to deflect away from the issue. The issue here is that black men do not have the financial ability to provide for their families. A lot of black men do not. That's why they run away. They turn their back and they go off the other direction. They continue the same pattern by getting multiple women pregnant, knowing you cannot provide. Instead of saying, you know what? Let me focus on building wealth. Understanding that there is equal distribution of wealth across this country, you know? Let me focus on building wealth to know that it costs money. I need finances to have a family. Why the fuck you gonna sit up here just because you can? Put your seed in a woman knowing your ass can't even afford it. And then want to sit up here and say, oh, she trapped me because she opened her legs. She wanted me to fuck her, so I did. You know, and she let me do it raw. So you want to blame the woman? Sick ass. I'm like, come on, man. That's weak. That's weak. That's weak. Men know what they doing. For a woman to lay down with a man who think like that. Child, I learned on my six to learn from other people's mistakes. That's why I minimize the number of mistakes that I make, because I look at the mistakes other people have made. You know, to see what's going on. And you wonder why I have certain standards when it comes to dating. I don't play that shit, man. I say, hell no. Probably because they're not invested in getting to... Oh, yeah, I just read that. But, yeah, that's why I have these standards, and I know what the hell I'm doing. Not to say she can't go wrong, you know. Shit happens. You got motherfuckers be married for years, and motherfuckers say, you know what, I'm unhappy. This ain't working, get a divorce, you know. But no, certain things got to be in place, man. I ain't giving myself to no freaking man that there's no guarantee. You know, that I at least don't have the certainty to know that, okay, he got my fucking back, you know. Like, nah. And that's where marriage comes in. You know, you have that commitment, because it's harder to separate when you sign those legal documents. Not to say you can't, but it's much harder to separate when you sign those legal documents, you know. And I feel like, come on. Maybe women, you know, just need to be more careful about who they let in. You know, just sit here and let men just dump these, you know, seed into you, and then you like, oh, you got to take care and you got to be with me. It's like, no, you cannot force a man to commit to you. That's why you have to put certain measures in place beforehand. Thank God I'm freaking educated. I know, man. It's certain things I could tell about a guy. You could tell, you know, if a guy is going to be committed and can handle his shit, or if a guy's just trying to get off, you know, get his rocks off, you know? And then, oh, boom, a baby coming. It's like, what the hell you left with? Now, they always put the burden of responsibility is going to automatically fall on the mother. Fuck that. Black women are going for financial stability. That's what I'm in my video saying. We want and deserve financial stability. And we can get that from an Asian man, from a white man, Latino. It don't matter the race. then hey, by all means necessary. If you can still be able to fall in love and create a loving family, and you're going to be with a man who's going to provide for you, who has the wherewithal to do that and not run away because he's strapped financially. I always say the ideal, yes, is to marry within your race, especially when it comes to black people, knowing that there is an attack on the black community. There is an attack on black love, black relationships. So yes, that's a beautiful thing. If we can do that. I saw you guys go to my page. You'll see I always be sharing posts when I see successful black couples. I make an effort to do that. Every time I come across a post on Facebook, that is my duty and obligation to share that positive post where we see a black couple together. You see a family there. And just a baby mama struggling by herself, but we see a black man, a black woman, and children together. That to me is beautiful because it's so much against us. We have so much to overcome, to conquer. So to be able to rise above all of that and still be able to procreate, to keep the race alive, that's a beautiful thing. But sometimes it don't always work out that way. And sometimes, someone else said on this post, you can't judge a person for who they are attracted to. So, besides all of that, what I mentioned, sometimes it's just simply about what makes a woman happy. If a white man know how to keep a black woman happy by telling her, you are my queen, treating her like she's a queen, not sitting up here throwing out these microaggressions that oftentimes a lot of black people we do to each other. Throw out these little side comments, putting each other down. You see that shit a lot in relationships. And we may laugh it off, but it breaks down a person's spirit, instead of elevating each other, uplifting each other. Not taking love and relationships for granted. You got a lot of black men that be taking that shit for granted, man. Because they can. They feel like it's more black women than there are to black men. It's more black women to black men than there are black men to black women. It's a higher ratio. Black men is in your favor. You have a lot more women out there to choose from. Whereas, we know for black women, a lot of black men were locked up in jail. Let's come on now. Imagine if they were to release all the black men from all the jails and prisons across the country. And then we can just wipe out all of their criminal offenses and just look at them as a black person. Come on, we know the dating pool will be even much stronger. When we got all these black men out here in jail or prison, come on, what we working with? A lot of black men turning gay, and not even to mention a lot of black men like white women. Let's keep that shit real. Let's keep it real, man. Let's address the real deal. Now, feel free, you guys. I have to go home because, I've been working all day, seeing clients, and I want to go home and relax. But I feel like I had to do this video to share my perspective on this. Because I had so much to say, and I couldn't put it all in the comment section. Too much to type. It's like writing a whole essay. But I wanted to come to you guys to talk to you guys about this, because this topic is sensitive to me, and this is where I'm at in my life right now. Now, I told my coworker this today. I say, I got this feeling, because I really have pretty good instincts, when it comes to things in my life. And I say, I have like this instinct in my gut, like this feeling that my birthday is in September. Around about that time, I already know I'm going to be settled down with somebody. Like, I already know. I can see that shit. I can feel it. Like, I can sense that shit coming. I don't know who it is. I don't know if it's somebody I'm talking to now or some guy that's going to probably pop up. I don't know. But I do have a strong gut feeling that your girl going to be with somebody by the fall, by September. And who knows? Who knows? Chances are, I would say it's probably going to be a black person. Chances are. I talk all this stuff about interracial dating and me being open, but I don't know. I think my genes are pretty strong, and it's something about a person's genetic makeup that drives them to a certain race, and I've dated mostly black men all my life. I've dated, outside my race a few times, but I think I felt most comfortable dating, within my race. Dating outside your race, I think it's fun. It's like living life on edge, if you kind of like to do risque behavior, like it can be exciting, you know, because you're kind of getting to know somebody totally different from a totally different culture, you know, and of course you have to deal with the weird stares and the looks and stuff. So it can be kind of exciting. But I'm like, I don't know. I see most likely, y'all gonna see a handsome black brother coming soon in my videos, because you guys know my life is pretty much an open book. I'm pretty much transparent, so I'll take you guys along the journey, you know. Of course, not as much as I did in my last relationship, you know. I don't think I'm gonna have it that open, you know, to social media, and it wasn't even that open, you know, even though his face was in my videos many a times. But learning to keep some things off social media. It's best to keep some things off social media. So thank you guys for chatting with me. Feel free to continue the discussion below. Share this video. Tag people in the video. See what they think about it. I know we all got different perspectives, and at the end of the day, we all get to choose who we want to choose, and y'all gonna say what y'all want to say. I've had men attack me because of my beliefs. They feel threatened. They feel like I am rejecting them for some reason. They feel rejected. They're like, damn, you don't want to date black men? I'm like, I ain't say no shit like that. I ain't say nothing like that to my I don't want to date no black men. But somehow black men just automatically hear one thing or see one thing, and it just goes straight to their head, and they come with their own assumptions. So that's them. Y'all can go ahead and tag me. I welcome it. I don't really care, because I know who I am. I know what I want, and I know my reasons for what I want. But I'm gonna catch you guys later. Love you guys. Talk to you guys later. Bye.